Hi, welcome back to Dad Knows. Today we're going to be talking about manifest destiny. That's right, manifest destiny, it's an interesting idea, an interesting concept. We will be discussing A, where it came from, and B, what it means today. It's often associated with presidents like Pierce and Polk and Tyler, but today we're actually going to bring in the man who is credited with coining the phrase, John O'Sullivan. So you may not have heard of him before, and now you have. So anyway, we're going to bring in John O'Sullivan in here in a few seconds to discuss the idea of manifest destiny. So we're going to go to the time radar. It's going to take us to 1845, which is the year that he is credited with coining this phrase. So without any further ado, let's bring in John O'Sullivan. John, glad you could be here. Awesome, I'm so glad you're here. So anyway, you are credited with coining the phrase manifest destiny. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot of people know you for that. It was a little bit like you never really got a lot of huge credit for it. The idea had been around since really guys the Louisiana Purchase. But what I read was that you were the editor of two different newspapers, the Democratic Review and the New York Morning News. And this same phrase showed up at the same time in editorials in both of those newspapers. So everybody, we've kind of gone back and put the pieces together and said that was actually you. Is that right? Okay. All right. So here's the actual phrase as it was in the first article, which appeared in July of 1845. So the fulfillment of our manifest destiny to overspread the continent allotted by Providence for the free development of our yearly multiplying millions. So what is all that about? What was going on that you felt like you needed to write this?
Well, our population was increasing, and we were kind of slowly moving westward steadily, and we needed more land.
Okay, so yeah, the population was increasing. Like I read somewhere that in maybe 1800 there were maybe 5 million people in America, and by 1845, 1850 they thought there were 23 million people in America. So the population quadrupled in that time, right? So what was there? So in 1845 though, there was there anything that was happening right then that caused this?
We were in the process of acquiring Texas.
Okay, so Texas was kind of coming into the Union at that time. That was going to be another big piece of land. Not everybody wanted Texas to come in because they thought it was going to be part of the slavery issue and maybe cause some other issues with Mexico. What else was going on? So we were bringing in Texas. We already had the Louisiana Purchase from a long time ago, which acquired, and we talked about that before. So what else was happening? We had this with Texas. Was that causing any other issues or problems?
We were on the verge of war with Mexico. It was kind of on the horizon.
Oh, okay. So y'all were thinking about fighting them. Well, why was that?
We wanted all the other western states.
So there's a bunch more territory out there, and we had a lot of people. So you were like, we're just going to go ahead and we're thinking we may be going to war with them, something like this. Well, here's a spoiler alert for you, John. It does happen. It happens the next year. 1846 to 1848, Mexican-American War. At the end of that war, America has acquired the territories that will become California, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, southern Wyoming. Did I say Arizona? I don't know if I did or not, but if I didn't, I'm saying it again. Anyway, so it acquired all of that land. So that was a pretty big deal. Also, by the mid-1850s, we had the Gadsden Purchase, which is we actually paid Mexico for one little tiny chunk on the bottom there that completed what is now the continental United States, or a lot of people consider the lower 48, which so the U.S. exists today. So again, you may not have known at the time, but you are still famous. And this phrase that you said, manifest destiny, it is well known throughout history, throughout American history. It's a huge touchstone that a lot of people point to, both good and bad. But you're famous for it, or at least your phrase is famous. One day we'll maybe make you famous for it. All right. So thank you so much for coming in, John. And we're going to send you back to 1845. You ready to go back now? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
You want to stay here and enjoy air conditioning for a little while longer until you go back to then? No, never mind. Okay, we'll send you back. All right. See you later. Thank you so much for coming in. All right. Thank you, John, for having John O'Sullivan in for us today. We're going to have a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll come back for a wrap-up.
Looking to spend the next 4 to 6 months in relative luxury while experiencing the great outdoors? Try Oregon Trail Travel Tours. Ride for miles and miles in one of our luxurious prairie schooners. across the prairies and through the mountains, while experiencing little real danger.
Some participants in Oregon Trail travel tours have reported deaths from the following reasons: dysentery, measles, typhoid, cholera, snakebite, drowning in a river, drowning in a lake, exhaustion, starvation, mauled by a bear, mauled by wolves, mauled by cougars, mauled by coyotes. Oregon Trail Travel Tours and its sister companies, California Trail Travel Tours, Mormon Trail Travel Tours, and Santa Fe Travel Tours, are not responsible for these deaths.
Who knows? You might even make it. Hey, what is this thing?
Wow, maybe we ought to come up with some kind of safety mechanism to cover this up. I hope that guy's going to be okay back in 1845. He might make it. Anyway, so again, today we're talking about Manifest Destiny. Thank you for joining us. As we said, it really kicked off with Louisiana Purchase, and then but even the Monroe Doctrine was kind of part of Manifest Destiny, because it was one of these things of saying, hey, Europeans, stay out of here, no more colonization. This is our place. As we spread across the North American continent as a nation. And it is really the idea that helped build us into the nation that we are today. Now, some negatives to Manifest Destiny would be that, as we did this and came across, there were a lot of Native American tribes that were treated, very cruelly in this process. And also, every time we added one of these territories, the slavery issue came up, whether these territories or states were going to be slaves or free. We've talked about that a lot the last few weeks when we talked about the Missouri Compromise, the Compromise of 1850. So those issues going to continue to rear their heads as we just got pushed closer and closer and closer to the Civil War. So anyway, again, some of the main, this process was kind of capped off with the Gadsden Purchase. Was the final little piece of these territories that we got that created modern day America. So. Anyway, thank you for joining us. If you like this, subscribe and feel free to share it around. If you don't like it, well, I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.